All right. Well, I really enjoyed doing the other video, the intro to Pacific Fire. I have played an Allied campaign, but I have not played a Japanese campaign. So I figured, let's do the full Pacific War on the Japanese from the Japanese side and discuss a few things here. A little bit of history, and let's just enjoy a good game. So we're going to go to campaigns, Japanese campaigns, and um, that looks like it. So, we're starting out the 7th of December, 1941. Let's talk a little bit about the cause of Japanese aggression, because it was a cause. A lot of you people probably don't realize, because you're young and you've never learned it in history class, that the Japanese actually fought on the Allies' side in World War One. Now, afterwards, with the League of Nations and all that creation, they were treated as basically a third world country. They were told that they would have a seat at the table, and hey, to the spoils of war go to the victors, and basically the colonial powers at the time and the burgeoning U.S., which was coming onto the world stage, basically told them to sit down and shut up. You're not real people. And they took a great offense to it, and rightfully so. They paid in blood and lives to fight by our side. So, if you've ever wondered exactly why um, Japan embarked on its path of destruction the way it did, that has something to do with it. That is not all of it, but that is something to do with it. Politically speaking, it had a very strong foundation to lead them to war. They were promised certain things, and they felt that it was reneged on. Now, there's more to it than that, and we will discuss that when European Fire comes out. Because how many of you actually know what World War II was? And don't just rush to an answer, think about it. What was World War II? From a historical standpoint, hey, you've got time to go read before European Fire is released. Go do some reading. That's the question. What was World War II? What was it really? I doubt any of you actually consider it what it was. When I tell you, you will agree and understand. But I'm not going to tell you today. Today, we're going to launch an offensive as Japan. And in this video, what we're going to do is we're going to choose the AI difficulty. Well, we'll just do normal. I haven't played this one, so I don't know how this is going to do. Yeah, we may get our butts kicked, but we're going to go see what this is. So we're going to hit proceed, and we're going to put it in spot 1 here. All right, what we're going to start by doing here is we're going to look at what we have to play with and see how we start. And let's just start by looking here. All right. What I see initially is a lot of undefended territory that we can just run and grab if we so desire. I just don't know points wise what it's worth. I mean, I'm pretty certain this area towards India and the Southeast Asia, the Philippines, Borneo, all this area, um, Thailand, and this. I mean, Saigon, we obviously already have Vietnam and whatnot. So we need resources. So where are our resources? It's probably right here. Question we have to ask ourselves is, do we want to immediately try and take some of these islands just because we can and came. Oh, looky here. What is this? All right, we're going to start right there here in a minute. Okay, so we need to think about what we're going to run around and take. But before we make those decisions, let's see what we got to play with. Okay, well, it appears Pearl Harbor. I guess we have to strike it if we're going to strike it. Okay, around Midway. Now this is another thing I wasn't aware of and I didn't understand when I did my introduction to this. These bases aren't necessarily a a spot on a map. It, equate them to a geographical region. I was not aware that that's the way he did it. So, like, hey, if we go fighting in Rangoon over here, it's that whole region. It isn't necessarily that little base. So, have some fun with that in your mind. Be imaginative. This is a very imaginative game. All right, we're coming back here. All right, let's see what we got at Midway. Wow. We got 246 six carriers and 2 escort carriers, and a crap load of air power. Nice. Well, I guess we know what we're supposed to do with that, but we have no ground troops. All right, let's, I guess, go over here to Japan and let's start seeing what we have to play with. Oh, wow. We got a bunch of infantry guys. These units, like these guys, the 12th Independent Mixed Brigade down here, it's got like 3,200 men. It's at the very bottom down here. A lot of those guys I tend to use as garrison units and use these guys as strike units. So we got a little bit of air power. Nothing. We got boatses, and we got some more boats, but I guess all our carriers are over there. Hey, submarines. Now, submarines, we need to think about what to do with these. I'm kind of thinking a mid-game, maybe. Oh, okay. Here we got a lot of boats. We got a couple of escort carriers there, so that's nice. Another escort carrier in Okinawa. We have a lot of carriers, ladies and gentlemen. Man, I had no idea. They outnumbered us big time, which I knew that, but this really represents it. Oh, wow. All right. Battleships and destroyers. Battleships, I'm going to say, are great for landing. They can take a lot of damage and whatnot. All right. Well, we have a lot to play with out here. All right, ground troops. Oh, who are these guys? Oh, Thailand. So Thailand, I guess if we can liberate them, they join in for us. This is good. All right. Well, I tell you, this is what we're going to do. We're going to launch our landing campaign. Actually, those guys, no 80 tanks, they're going forward. We're going to leave those 2 divisions behind. That'll give us a nice rear guard. And we're going to send them forward. And we're going to put them on a ground strike. Okay, so all these guys are air base or land base, so I don't want my guys getting shot to pieces. Whoa, a lot of fighters here. Alright, so hold on. We're going to click on Mandalay to clear all that and come back to Saigon. We're going to put 2 of these on cap to there so that if they try to intercede on what we're trying to do, we knock them back out of the way. Just for the 12, that's not a lot in that one. We're going to let them sit there for a minute. And we're going to send, man, these guys got long range. All right, so we're going to send 3 of them to there. and 3 of them to Singapore. Alright, dive bombers. We're going to put these guys on a naval strike against nobody. Alright, well, we're going to select bombers. And that actually isn't really what I'm wanting to do. But this looks good. Let's take those off. And then these 2 guys, and we're going to ground strike and support those guys. Alright, so we've got an interesting deal here. Ooh. I was thinking about taking these guys and moving them over here, but no long. Well, wait a minute. Okay. It makes good sense to do this then. We're going to take these fine peoples here and we're going to throw them at Kotu with air support to ground strike those guys. And we're going to take our ships here and we're going to bombard over here. Now, Hong Kong, I know when I play against the computer, it seemed like they were doing something like this. So we're going to, okay, this is why they did it. All right, so we're going to take all but, we're going to leave the independent mixed brigade and we're moving those guys in. All right, these guys are going to fly cap over this just in case they fly cap from here and try to intercept us. I want some air defense. And we're also going to ground strike these guys. Let's see if we can mix them up. Now, we're also going to need to move some cruisers. We need to move support in. Because we got to run them ships off. We gotta, that we can't allow them to have a navy. All right, on here they've got 10 ships. Well, we're gonna send who can arrive. This guy. Rebasing him honestly is going to do us no good right here, so we're just going to leave him there. This guy, he's going to fly cap here. I want him to try and shoot down as many planes as he can. We just want to start doing some damage. Alright, the carrier fighter here, we want him flying cap to here. And this guy, we're going to join in on that naval strike. Alright, this fighter, we want him rebased to there. Now, our fighters and all this kind of stuff are, they're definitely important. We don't want to lose these units. For now, I'm going to rebase those guys there. Torpedo bombers. I'm hoping these guys are really good against ships. Level bomber, we're going to rebase. We really need to move guys around here. I'm not doing a very good job at explaining this, I think, kind of what I'm doing here, which right now I'm just trying to actually just move things and grab as much as I can immediately before everybody knows the jig is up. So we're going to bombard him at Guam. And hey, we got a level, nope, not naval, ground strike. So we're going to try and take some things from who we believe the bad guys are. Alright, and we're going to go take Wake as well. Yeah, you go bombard over here. Alright, we got some fighters, so I want some cap over there. Good deal. We want a ground strike there. Hey, we got some good dudes here. Now, we don't have tanks here, but we do have guns and a lot of guys. Now, I've noticed a lot of these guys as I'm looking around, and let's look at this. Most of your infantry divisions really don't have tanks like allies and other guys really do. Now, our units over on the mainland did, but, think about this really. How useful was a tank, on a lot of these small islands? Ooh, a lot of guys there. So you're going to go over there and invade. And you are going to go over there and bombard. We're just going to run and grab every freaking thing we think we can grab. I mean, why not? We're actually going to move garrison units to like Tarawa. These guys to like Nauru. Alright. One thing that I didn't cover is the split button. You see how this made two different ships, so we're going to put him on bombard here, although there's no reason to put him on bombard. We're just going to move him. The reason we're doing this is so that if the Allies decide to make a run and stop us, hopefully we can say, nope, not going to happen. This stays with us. Oops, I did that wrong. So we're just going to run around and grab every stinking thing we can like thieves in the night. And hope and pray that we can keep it. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to split that. And we're going to merge those two together into a battle group. And I'm going to move one destroyer there and one destroyer there. I just want some protection if my guys can make it, because we don't want to lose those troops. Alright, and we're going to actually move these guys. I'm gonna be really greedy here. And we're taking that too. And oh yeah, I forgot. We've got this whole midway thing, so we're gonna select our fighters and put them on cap. So we're gonna try and actually let's go look at Pearl Harbor and see if we know what's there. Dive bombers and level bombers. Alright. Knowing that, I'm going to put our fighters on naval strike because they really shouldn't. Nothing ought to be being harassed by fighters, I don't believe. So, I also, we got, a bunch of submarines. I don't think it's going to be a real great idea to have all our submarines or all of our carriers around submarines, so we're going to select all these and we're going to boogie off somewhere that appears safe, and I'm going to move us. Why not Iwo Jima? So that overruns a lot of these little islands, takes us back out of the way for January, because in January and February, we probably need to overrun this area here, reconsolidate, because we've got till basically middle of 1943 is when they're going to be getting close to us industry-wise. So we got to move. We got to grab as much as we can. That was Japan's real intent. They wanted to initially seize resources And then their intent was to create a defense in depth that would force the Allies to sue for peace. So, one of the things that we need to keep in mind is air power. Defense in depth only works against air power and the ability to land somewhere. So this is going to be an interesting fight, guys. This is going to be interesting. So here goes the aggression. Now, I will be cutting through some of these cutscenes because it gets annoying after a while. And for a lot of these, there's just no point. Here we go. Yes, they're all done. So we did well. It looks like they're all dead. And hey, looks like we took Guam. Yes, Japan captures Guam. Alright. Hey, we captured Moulin. I forget what we were doing here. It looks like we're... Okay, okay. Okay, this was just fighters. Okay, we captured Hong Kong. Wow. We took out 7,800 men. They took out half of that. So they hurt us back. We knocked out a bunch of units. And, this is something we should talk about right now. This should be part of our immediate short-term goal is we've got to put units out of action. We got to destroy units because I bet you deeper into the war, they're going to be pumping out more units than we do. So we're going to have to save our units and make them last longer. Yeah, I bet you this is going to be tricky. All right, here we go next. Okay. We can read here that, hey, the Allies conducted combat air patrol. So we were smart to send planes there to try and prevent that, and it looks like we did as well. So we captured Ko-Tu, and man, about half the losses again. They're making us bleed for what we're taking. But it looks like their guys escaped, and we killed their air squadrons. I will take that air power. We need to get rid of their air power. That is important. This game generates a lot of air power. The more of it I can put out of action, the better off we are. All right, next. Well, that's probably ugly. Hey, all right, we did well. And we took it. And we took it. And we took it. And who went awake? Oh man, I think they shot our plane down. Or maybe theirs, I'm not sure. I hope we didn't lose a unit. There's our bomber. Get him, boys. Okay, we took Wake. We did not lose any units. That is a good thing. Alright, so they may have heavily damaged a unit, but it's still alive. It's a good thing. Okay, we just took it. And we just took it. Hey, okay. Well, honestly, I was expecting a little bit more of a boost for our score, but I think it starts at like 710, and the ally score is honestly, that's worrisome to me. So we really need to get a move on this area over here. We got to get their score down. And so Thailand's got a unit coming online. That could be theirs or ours. I don't know. We've got a Yamato battleship, and hey, they got a couple of aircraft units, and you can see where, man, we got some good reinforcement stuff coming in there at the moment. So nothing too upsetting here, and we got some upgrades. That is nice. And that's not bad. We just need to figure out what our next turn is going to be. All right, what does our intelligence tell us? That there are submarines near Midway. So, okay, they've got a base up here. So, is this a threat to us? That's really what this is telling us. Is our intelligence telling us that Midway is a threat? That's something we need to assess. All right, what's our naval intelligence? It believes that the Allies have 27 submarines. Well, we know some of them suckers are at Midway. Submarines are a direct threat to us. Make no mistake about it. They are a direct threat. If they start hitting our industry, we're in trouble. Allied level bomber spotted near San Francisco, so we know what's heading our way. Prisoners of war claim Allied forces in Rangoon are constructing significant defenses. All right, that just means they're sitting still. They haven't moved anywhere, and that's not at this point in the game, don't care. We're going to overrun them. They can't stop us. We're just going to have to take a few extra casualties. We're going to take Rangoon next. That's a must-have. All right, and it's just telling us that, hey, there's destroyers coming online, so it's okay. We fully expect that. They're kind of angry right now. All right. Now, here we are at our overview. These are our victory conditions. So this is the end of the first turn. Japan has the start. So coming out of the gate, I hope we did well. You know, time will tell. But right now, the Allies need to take Tokyo, Nagasaki, Hokkaido, Osaka, Sendai, or Hong Kong. They need to capture 4 of those 6. And if they can do that, they win. Or if they hang on to by October of 46. If we don't put them into surrender mode by October 46, they still win. Okay, for us, we have to capture Singapore, Luzon, and Rangoon. Okay, so Rangoon's one we got to have. In addition to that, we got to have 5 more of Pearl Harbor, San Francisco, San Diego, Seattle, Darwin, Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Batavia, Calcutta, or Kunming. Or we have to survive until 1946. Well, I'm going to say taking those may be easier than surviving until 1946. So if we have to take Darwin and Brisbane and Sydney, I mean, this means we're putting Australia out of action. And that may be easier said than done, my friends. So I don't know what we're going to do. Currently, our casualties are 11,385 to 33,2. So we've hurt them, and they're gonna come back. And granted, this is an AI, but if this was another human player, he would be out to hurt us. This would be a much tougher campaign if we were facing somebody that didn't have a pre-planned mode of attack. Our problem here is I haven't played against these the Allied AI. I don't know what it's going to do. And not knowing what it's going to do is probably going to punish me very hard. And guys, I think I'm going to cut it off here, because now I'm ready to do my next moves. Because once you're to the end of your overview, now you're starting to issue new orders again. So this is going to be the end of the first video. And, give me a little feedback. What should we do? Y'all are a part of this. Do we go for do we put our power into taking the Philippines and the Southeast Asia areas, or do we go all out for India, or really really wild, push down through here through Port Moresby and strike Australia and knock Australia out of the war before taking off Singapore and the rest of this? We have about 6 months to do whatever we want to do. That's six turns. Do we strangle Australia? Do we secure this area? Do we throw the British out? There is no way we're going to throw America out in 6 months. And the problem is logistics. Throwing America out is going to be a time intensive deal. For the moment, lucky America, you are spared. All right, guys. Tell me what we need to do. Be my generals.